Oh, hi there. This is my commentated video on the winning run I had in World Tower Defense on version 1.14, beating Arduous by myself for the very first time. And I'm essentially going to be explaining everything that is more important that I'm doing that you might not be able to see the best or understand why I'm doing it. If you just want to see the raw run, because there's some parts I cut out or speed up here most likely, then you can just see on the other video on my channel. But starting off in the early game here, nothing much is going on. I'm just placing the Kindler on the top right side, and I will be putting most of my defense there for the whole entire game. You can probably assume, and it's pretty easy to see why I would put everything in the top right. It gives the most range from the enemies coming all the way to the base while staying close enough to the base. And it's going to avoid a lot of the pathing for most of the bosses, which come from the next spawn. Getting those two Igniter rank 2s are also very important, because if you don't know, it will stack the first level of the on fire debuff with the level 3's on fire debuff, and that's gonna be really needed for both Rusted and the Silvers that will come up later on. But right now I'm just going to be placing more Igniter rank 3s until I have 5 of them, which is just enough for a Kindler with 2 rank 2 Igniters to get the max sacrifice. Also, if this is your first time watching one of my videos, I'll explain it near the end more in depth, but this is my very first time actually beating Arduous mode, and I have in fact been playing through the whole game by myself entirely, no teammates. I'll tell you more about that later on, as I said, but know that this has been very long in the making. It isn't like I just started this in like version 1.13. I started this all the way back in September 2024. It's been more than 5 months since I started running attempts on this, and it's took just over 55 hours of attempts before I got this winning run. So yeah, this is a very big accomplishment to me. It's probably no one else has ever done this either, really. I think it's pretty unique. As you can see with my Igniter 3 placements, that the Rusted is gonna just be barely out of range for all of the Igniters. It can't attack any of them, and all the Igniters will be able to attack it. If you place them close enough, then you should be able to get it before it attacks the base. If you place them too far, then you will lose. But you can't place them too close, obviously, or else it will attack it. Letting this first frost blocker that spawns attack my main defense is intentional here. I already tested beforehand and I know that all of my Igniters will survive and none of them will die before I can buy the first Blazemancer. Buying a unit just to bait that attack would have been really unnecessary. That's why I did that. Also, nothing's going to be going on much at all here, so I'm just gonna be speeding it up a lot. It has very self-explanatory baiting, and it's pretty obvious what I'm doing here, up until after Blazemancer dies, so I'll just speed that up. trying to get that frost blocker attacking my Kindler was intentional. I kind of wanted that last explosive to also damage the Kindler, and I already knew, like, even though it was frozen for a long time, I had the right baiting path for my Blazemancer to neural the enemies. And I wanted my Kindler to be slightly lower health, so none of the enemies with the strongest targeting would be much less likely to attack it. But now that we got the max ranked artificers, then when it gets really interested. You want to get the least supported buildings. You don't want to get a sentinel or launcher early on, and you want Artificer to be doing almost all of the damage as much as possible. But you're still going to have to get max sentinels for both of your artificers by the Terminator duo spawning in. So what I usually do is, for the first max artificer, as you see here, I get the overcharger, then the max rank mender, and then a max sentinel. For the second artificer, I would usually get the overcharger first, again, a mender, but I would only upgrade that mender to rank 2. And then finally after that I would get a max sentinel, because the second one won't be able to gain enough metal in time to get 3 max buildings. And once I get everything done, I would go for the launchers. You also want to make sure to move back those 2 artificers there. There's a case in which when you move that Blazemancer to that position, Super Speedster would still go after the artificers upon their first stop. So you don't want to be risking that. But you can see in my baiting pattern here, you just want it to be right on the edge of the artificer's attack range for farm metal. Also, when getting your first max mender, as soon as possible, set it to farthest or highest max HP setting to always try and target the Blazemancer. You want to get as much overheal as early as possible before the Terminator spawns to not risk it losing too much health. Also, don't forget to get the first max over Illuminator before the Terminators come into range. You want to be spending it as early as possible because you would preferably get 3 max Illuminators before Mathematician spawns. And that is very cooldown dependent, you have to be pretty quick. Also, the reason why I placed the first one farther back and not farther ahead is because I want to, after the Terminators die, then change the Sentinel's targeting from range to closest to base. Because targeting is very important for the Sentinels as well as the launchers. And the second Illuminator placement would block it up. So that's why I'm doing that. 哈哈哈！你以为你可以赢得了我这数学天才吗？再练10年吧。Shoutouts to the 3 people that probably would know where that clip was from and which movie it was from. Honestly, I don't think anyone would get it. Maybe a few. But all jokes aside, this mathematician kill is just completely reliant on how fast you can think and type in your calculator. I have been using the calculator that actually physically switching from my keyboard to my calculator. I have been using it for a very long time, probably like four to 6 years now. So I'm very used to it, as well as I have actually been for a very long time been an enjoyer of doing that, just math for fun. The first thing that really got me into it was the University of Waterloo's Pascal Katie Fermat competition, if you know those math competitions, and as well as their problems of the week. I would really recommend checking them out if you're still in high school and you have any sort of talent in math, because honestly, school math is just very, very, very boring, and you would only see if you actually enjoy doing math once you do higher level math like that. During the Super Speedster, it has to be ahead of it, because, you know, as its first roar, it is going to stun the Kindler, and if you have it any closer, it's going to start attacking the base, so then your base would die. So that is necessary. Overall, Granite Wave is very simple with this loadout right now. You just have to make sure both of the Artificer's vendors are always prioritizing Blazemancer so the Granite drones don't end up killing it. And also you'll see that both placements for without the Granite Golem and with the Granite Golem are very specific. Just try to follow those very specific placements. But other than that, just going to speed it up right now. Personal suggestion of mine, I think it would be just pretty funny to have, is if Master had different dialogue if you're like the only player playing in Arduous mode. They would essentially, instead of saying like how impressive it is and how you're just going to lose, they would kind of essentially just continuously mock you for how foolish you are for deciding to play and go against their entire army as a single person. But, it's up to them. Make sure to use the Blademaster's Hazel ability when the Granite Fighter doesn't die when Blazemancer first spawns, and also getting the first rank Blademaster to be at that specific location is intentional, since it completely guarantees that Blazemancer will target specifically that Blademaster and not my defense. It's kind of risky if I just have it with the target the Blademaster XI isn't the most reliable. And it's okay with how much damage the Blademaster is taking, since we're going to be replacing it very soon with with a Rainbow Blademaster. this the specific Rainbow Blademancer spawn is very important, as you want the enemies to only just barely be to target Blademancer first before the main defense coming from the next spawn, and it will also be far enough away for the Granite Rangers to not hurt the main defense, and Master's kill aura to not be in range of that Rainbow Blademancer there. Also, watch out for the Granite Warriors that Master spawns. When they are within range of the Rainbow Blademancer, they will go towards the main defense, and if Master stuns the main defense for a second or two, mainly the Kindler, then the Granite Warrior is gonna quite easily get into range and just kill your main defense. That's why I, for that one time, placed the Max Igniter to distract it for long enough. When Master is about to die, immediately use your other Rainbow Blademancer's ability and get ready for your Artificers to die and destroy all the buildings except the Overchargers. Even though their buildings only have 50% stun resistance, they're going to be perma-stunned still from Master in Phase 2, and it's just gonna be feeding them a ton of health. When Master in Phase 2 is starting to take damage and the first Overcharger triggers, immediately use both of your Rainbow Blademancer's 7th and 8th ability. And also don't buy another Rainbow Blademancer like I did there. It's too far away for the M-Raiders inner range with what I placed there for them to get stuck in place, and they started going towards the base and even almost destroyed it. Get a Blademaster X instead. And that's how I won Arduous all by myself in version 1.14. I'm pretty sure with seeing this video, many more of you will believe that it's still possible to beat Solo Arduous in the current version as I'm recording right now, which is version 1.14.1. The only single tower that I would need to replace here is Illuminator, as it just won't have enough DPS to kill Blazemancer in time with its damage nerfs and local limit reduction. And right now, what I'm thinking of a possible replacement is Frostburn Cryo. It would do really well against Blazemancer, and it has solid AoE and single target DPS that will ignore defense. So maybe you'll see another video of me beating it in version 1.14.1, but no guarantees since this took so long. I'm kind of done with it for a while. Maybe.